Please hold while I reboot myself. Yeah. Yeah. I wait mid-sentence in a half-finished sentence. I'm guessing I bent it between what I meant and whatever I sent. It's already rented. My head is a tenant that never got vetted. It's steadily edited, memory shredded and poorly presented. I barely consented. The ceiling's observing its verdict is curving, unnervingly certain. Like curtains are learning to open on purpose and close with intention. I try intervention, but tension invents a new version of mention, and I forget what I was even attempting to mention. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. It bends and it blends and it loops and it ends before I am aware it was said. I step on a thought and it fractures in half into laughter and dread. I'm threading a sentence through seconds that split into something instead. I shout in a pattern that partially matters then shatters the thread. I gather a phrase and it fades in a haze before reaching its edge. No lever or setting or safety resetting the noise that I dread. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. The fridge is a witness with passive-aggressive minimalist physics. It hums in a syntax I don't quite enlist in my mental linguistics. It's cryptic and twisted and slightly resistant to simple logistics. Like food is a feeling you borrowed and listed as statistically mystic. I try grounding techniques, 5 things that I see turn to crises. One chair, then another, then something that mutters in numerical slices. A war with opinions, a floor with ambitions, a light bulb that prices my sanity hourly based on repeated internal devices. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. It bends and it blends and it loops and it ends before I am aware it was said. I step on a thought and it fractures in half into laughter and dread. I'm threading a sentence through seconds that split into something instead. I twist and I turn every verbal return into circular thread. I learn that my learning is permanently burning the bridge that I tread. If clarity's currency, I've been delinquent, mentally misled. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. I'm mirroring canon, my mirrored encounter. We bar our identity loudly. It counters my canon, counters the canon that counters me proudly. We duplicate dialogue, oscillate syllables philosophically cloudly. Now I'm debating myself in a courtroom that's mostly just me speaking loudly. The verdict is shifting, the sentence is drifting. I'm lifting and falling, my logic is calling but dropping the calling, the pattern and appalling. I'm stalling, I'm balling up fragments of self that are constantly crawling through metaphors, folding and breaking and holding no stable recalling. I leave but I don't leave the space that I'm in. I just split my attention, dimension to mention to partial suspension of logical tension. I return and the world has a different amendment to previous mention. Like someone rewrote all the rules while I pause for a breath of intention. I try to behave like a stable display of consistent dimension, but even my shadow is filing a claim for emotional pension. It's asking for restitution, solution, or at least comprehension. But I'm just a suggestion of me with declining retention. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. It fractures and fractions of fractured distractions that rapidly spread. I'm catching a pattern that's already scattered and partially dead. Stitching it back into sentences badly misread. I laugh in a cadence that collapses and vacates meaning instead. I speak in a rhythm that splits and exhibits preemptive regret. No switch or correction or calibrated direction to steady the thread. There's no volume knob, just a violent divide in the sound in my head. I'm fine in a technical, vaguely connected, incorrectly threaded sense. A concept assembled from fragments of mental, experimental sense. If I disappear in the middle of speaking, don't take it offense. I'm just reorganizing reality slightly for better defense.